Hi everyone, it's Hayley Morrison from Hayley Out Loud. And I thought I would just do a quick video on my phone because I didn't do one last week. I don't even know if I did one the week before, but it's been Christmas. And then New Year, had my birthday. Ended up working, wasn't going to, but I did. It was a great night. Sober one, but it was good. And then now it's the 4th of January. The last couple of days has just been kind of like getting rid of things out the house, like food and wine. Um, and just kind of tidying the house, putting the Christmas decorations away. I never ever put them up like away this early, but I have, and just kind of getting up back on track. I went to work today for the temp job that I'm covering for, so that was okay. That was just 1:30 till 5:30, and it's good because it gives us a purpose to get out of the house. But yeah, so basically, there's a few things that I wanted to like just cover in today's video in my little journal here, and that some people might relate to as well. Um, Two of the main ones. One of them is I'm doing a lot of like obviously self search and figuring out, why does I do the things I do and all this kind of thing. And something kind of is come up, and it's such a weird, not even weird thing. Like it's basically about being your authentic self, right? And I hear this all the time. I hear people saying, "Oh, just be yourself, be your authentic self, be true to yourself." But I don't think the people who are saying this, or maybe they do, or maybe it is easier than you think it is when you're kind of not being yourself. Maybe it is really easy, but you just haven't been yourself for that long. You just forgot who you are. Or maybe you just generally don't know who you are. So when someone says be yourself, what if you don't know who that is? What if you're generally just struggling thinking, I don't know who that is because I've had years of conditioning, um, and I've got limiting beliefs, and now I don't even know what are my thoughts and what have been someone else's that I thought was right, and now I'm realizing that it's not. And I think that's a massive thing. I think people kind of underestimate how hard that is. It's probably one of those easy to do but easy not to do kind of things. Like, who am I? So it takes a lot of like digging to find out, I would say, who you are. And then not only that, once you then kind of find out who you are, the truth of like what I really like and what I will stand for and what I don't want and what my values are and all this kind of thing, then it's living to that truth and being able to like be that self, knowing that that version of you, that truth, you may lose friends through it, you may upset people through it, but at the same time, you'll also gain the right people because you're being true to yourself rather than kind of living a lie and having all these friends and all these things in your life that maybe served you once upon a time, but that they're liking the person they think you're, not the person you are, kind of thing. So that's what I've kind of been doing, thinking, well, who am I? Like, I feel like I can be myself with David. I feel like I'm quite myself when I'm doing these videos, which is so strange. Like, I feel like this is just all of me. Everything I say is me without even fear and judgment, if I'm honest, which is, it's weird. Like, if people are judging us, I think, well, I'm not really bothered because they can watch it, stop watching it, whatever. But then obviously when you go into situations and you meet people, um, I think anyway, for me, I do find myself sometimes going into that kind of like, not false mode, because it's not that I'm lying or trying to be someone I'm not. I'm just trying to withdraw parts of us that I think people might find irritating or annoying or um, get offended by, that kind of thing. So, and I do think there's a line as well. So, if you're someone, because like older people normally just speak the truth, don't they? They just tell it how it is. They've got no filter, but we kind of just expect that and we'll laugh it off. Whereas when you were a little bit younger, are people going to laugh it off? You go, oh my God, you look fat in that. Or, I mean, I would never, well, I'm saying I would never be that blunt. I used to be that blunt, but it was more because I was thinking it was clever to be honest, to be brutally honest. And really, sometimes things aren't worth being said. Like, if you can't say anything at all, sorry, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all unless you asked for it. But I think I used to take it upon myself just to think I was doing the right thing at that time. Um, but yeah, so it's a really weird one, that is trying to be your authentic self, and I think it's definitely worth people digging in and looking into questions they can ask themselves to kind of to peel back those layers of themselves. And it might even be worth seeing like, who do you want to be? Like, what are your values? What are you like? Because if I used to be scared of interviews. Sorry, I'm going off topic totally here. I used to be scared about doing interviews because I used to think, well, what if I don't know the answer? Like if someone asks something about yourself, like, oh, what's your favorite movie? And I'd be like, I don't have one. Like, I actually don't have one. What's your favorite song? I have got a few actually, but no questions like that. And I think, oh, I don't really know because I've never been asked them and I've never thought about it before. So I definitely think asking yourself questions and writing them down is a good way to just learn about yourself. Like, well, what's the first thing you do when you meet someone else? You go, oh, where do you live, and what do you like doing? What's your hobbies? What's your favourite colour? When you're getting to know someone, you ask all these questions. So I think to get to know yourself, you have to kind of do that with yourself as well as ask yourself those questions. So anyway, with that being said, that is something that I'm still doing, and realising that if I'm in a situation and I feel uncomfortable, I don't need to put on anything. I can just say, like, if I feel like I'm coming across awkward, I can just say, look, I'm really sorry. I'm just having a bit of a weird day today. Like, I'm not normally this, like, quiet but just bear with us, or, just that kind of thing, and just let someone know that actually this isn't a great day for me. So just, ignore us. Because instead of, like, what I would normally do is try and force a smile, act like I was okay, but I'm not okay, and then get panicky and get anxiety, thinking that everybody knows that I'm being false, and then finding it even more difficult to then be myself because I've been that person. It's weird. So that's something that I'm really working on myself. The second thing is something I've been learning a little bit more about. I forgot the term on the part of the brain that this happens in, but basically you've got, your pain and your pleasure, and those sensory, like, not organisms, but those senses basically are in the same part of your brain. So wherever you get pleasure, imagine it as a scale. So this is pleasure, this is pain. So I don't know which way to go, but we'll just say up. So you're getting lots of pleasure, and then what happens is your body will try and regulate that to keep it kind of back on balance. So this is why, like, they say, if it's it the opposite way, like, for example, when you're working out and you exercise, and they say, like, no pain, no pleasure. So, you put your body through pain, because pain of just mentally to get there in the first place, struggling maybe to do weight on your treadmill, and then the pain afterwards, your muscles hurt, you can't walk, that's that pain. But ultimately, you're getting that pleasure from that as well, because you're going to feel a lot better, you're going to be toned, you're going to be stronger. So that's probably the best way to describe that. So what is really, really sinking in with me right now is people want to be happy, like, all of the time. And now I'm realising that that's not really what we should be going towards. We should be actually accepting that there's going to be always, no matter what you do, the universe will find a way to get that balance. Your body, your head, mind will find a way to get that balance again. Because what will happen is, apparently what they've researched and found out, that if it's off too much one way, it changes the whole chart. If you like, the whole balance beam, if you like, it changes the whole position of it. So let's say you've got pain and pleasure here, and it's doing this, right? But if you're in pain for too long, it does that. So then when you do try, oh, did I do that? I did that the wrong way, sorry, because I was going up. So if there's too much pain, sorry, then what happens is when you do get a little bit of pleasure, it's nowhere near what your normal pleasure is like. So you always feel like there's a disconnect there. And that's the way they've described it anyway, but a lot better than what I am now. But also, they were talking about boredom, and this is me. I feel like I've eventually found out what is wrong with me, because I keep saying, like, I've had an okay childhood. I feel loved. I've got friends. I've got all my survival basic needs. And what they were talking about, in fact, I'll get the link and I'll share it to listen to, because it's really worth listening to. And they were basically saying that sometimes it's boredom, as in, like, I've lived quite just like a nice life, where it's just been like nice, happy, playing. And because it's been like this, sometimes the pain, remember that, I don't know if I said this just before, equal and opposite effects, like law of physics. So if I'm getting, like, so, like, not so much pleasure, but it's changing it altogether. That's probably not explaining it right. Anyway, I'm going to share you the link, but it definitely makes sense in my head, basically. So what's happening is I'm bored now and I need something more to stimulate me. Oh, they basically say now in life we've got everything we need, all our basic needs are met. And in the olden days, you would have that, like, that pain and pleasure where you would, you'd have to hunt, or you'd have to, go and grow your own food and go through all that pain of, like, harvesting and cooking and cleaning and all these kind of things, which I know we still do, but not to the extent. You had to go and collect wood, chop wood, burn it on a fire to keep warm. So then you would have like the pain part, and then you would have the pleasure part to kind of balance that out. Whereas now we've got everything we need. So instead of trauma people having too much trauma, now we're kind of having too much, not even pleasure, but just kind of stuck in that mediocre, just boring, like not having to really, really work for something and then reap the reward. We've got everything at our fingertips, everything there in front of us, really. And I don't know if I'm just waffling too much and not explaining this properly, but anyway, it was basically saying like when you get bored, you kind of need like that stimulation, and that actually we need those bad days too. So when I'm having a bad day, I'm no longer going to be thinking, I want to be happy all the time. I'm going to be like, oh, this is me bad day. Like, this is me balance right now. So what can I learn from this bad day, or what can I do? Do I need to just, relax my body and just accept it and feel grateful that I'm having a bad day, because you know what? It's part of life. Because I don't want to tip the balance off too much. Is it called homeostasis? I think it is. Like the balance of like, like your bad days and your good days kind of thing. So it just was a bit of a weird one. I really, really enjoyed that. And I just think a lot of people are trying to go just like happy, 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 happy. And maybe that's not what we should strive for at all. We should just strive for what we want to do and what brings us joy. But don't try and avoid too much negative things, and just accept challenges and accept the negative things, because that's, I guess, where we learn and where we grow. Anyway, I have waffled on. So that's something that I've kind of been really accepting about myself and about my life and about what's to come as well. Instead of trying to avoid all like bad days and stuff like that, just welcome them. Let them come, baby. And another thing as well is I've been, and I think I've probably said this before, so overwhelmed that I've got so many things that I want to do, and I hate when the house is a mess. I can't concentrate, I can't think straight, I can't organise myself. And sometimes it's just a case of just doing something, just moving forward, even if it's just like doing something little. So what I've done is I've worked out a little priority list for myself. So I've got my Good Life Guru, which is this, then my Forex, but my Good Life Guru is where I'm really going to be focusing on. So I've picked 3 things that I want to focus on. One of them is me vlogs, which hopefully will get a little bit better and have more content that people can relate to. And I really, really need to, and I've wrote this down as well because I've said this a few times, need to write a list so that I can pick a topic and then discuss it and relate it to how I'm dealing with that in my life. Just to kind of make these videos a little bit more interesting, I guess, rather than just me waffling. So anyway, I've got my vlog, and then I'm going to have me podcast, which is probably just going to be on Zoom, on YouTube for now. And what I want to do is I'm going to have different series. So I'm going to have the mind, body and soul. So I'm going to start with the body, because I definitely feel like sometimes just getting that action then can reset the mind kind of thing. So I'm just going to start with body. And within the body series, it's called Inside Out. And I'm going to talk about different elements of our life that can affect us and make us sick and whatever. Because I definitely think sometimes you may think in your head, oh, I'm trying to be positive, but my body, I've just got no energy. And sometimes you've got no energy. It can be because of past traumas, but it could also be because of lack of nutrition, because you're not getting enough vitamin D, because you're not exercising, because actually what you're eating and what you're wearing and things around you, all them chemicals are just overloading your body, making you feel not very good. So I'm going to start with the body. And within those series, I'm going to have hopefully people on Ideally local. I definitely want to start local first because I want to go out and help people in my community, and then hopefully it can grow. And I want to kind of get people on who are local, who are more into, organic stuff. Anybody can kind of just phone the doctor and get a pill. And I've got me own views about just going and taking tablets. I think there's definitely a place for medication, but at the same time, I think sometimes GPs are under a lot of pressure, and sometimes, well, a lot of times, and I can tell you stories, which I will on the body series, of people being misdiagnosed or given wrong treatment and actually really, really having a negative effect on their body. In fact, bringing that into life earlier. I didn't know how to say that because I just went all funny. So yeah, I can definitely talk about that. So I want to kind of have people that can come on and talk about things in your life that you can change, just little things. So, for example, a friend, Jenny, she had mentioned something a while ago. Oh, my phone is ringing. I will have to come back. Oh, in fact, I'm just going to cut it short because I'll have to ring it back. So she was mentioning like polyester. So I do try and buy cotton all the time. Because polyester, it's obviously synthetic, it's like plastics. And what can happen is, the way she's explained it is, this is actually polyester. My dad bought it and I thought I need to wear it for a bit. I'm not sweating it or anything like that right now. But basically what you can do is, when you're sweating and your pores are opening, little bits of the polyester can the chemicals can get into your skin. It's actually carcinogenic, which means it can cause cancer. I am going to kind of start getting loads of more cotton stuff for myself. I always get cotton underwear and stuff like that. It's weird. But then when you think about that and you think, oh God, well, if you've put your kids and you've grew up wearing polyester, say underwear or bras, and it's carcinogenic, and you think, breast cancer, skin cancers, that kind of thing. And then also products. So I've got an app on my phone. I've mentioned this before. It's called Yucca. And you can scan something and it gives you a list of the chemicals, and it tells you if it's like red, if it's really hazardous. Orange is like moderate risk, and then you've got yellow, I think, is low risk, and then green is no risk. So, but what it does is, when you look at those chemicals, it's got links to the sources of the chemicals and the data. And I've got a product, right, which was from Body Shop, and it's like a gel thing you put on your hair when you've washed it. It's like a serum. Well, I scanned that, and this chemical, when I went on, it's now been banned in products. But nobody's rang me, or nobody's been able to get in touch with me to say, oh, by the way, that serum that you bought, the chemical in it, would banned it. From last year, they banned it. And I'm like, because when you buy things, you don't sign up for updates, like when they recall things. You don't do that. They don't do that with products. So people might have things in their house that are really not good for them. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff I want to be talking about, on top of foods. Now, food is a big one because I've been learning a lot about different bodies, and I do think blood types may have something to do with this as well. Like, for example, Ruby, my daughter, and David, they've got allergies to like tree allergies, like pollen, trees. Ruby's got a few types of nut allergies, not peanuts, but I think it's walnut, pecan nut, and something else. Like, her lips swelled up when she had hazelnut on 2 occasions, and she used to have it when she was little. A little bit of dog, a little bit of cats. So, whereas I don't have any allergies, and I actually had a test as well, and I don't have any allergies, so it's questionable. And I've looked into little bits of studies about your blood and stuff like that, so, and what you should eat. But there's so much about our own bodies that we're all different, that we probably don't know. But there will be things that we could at least, I guess, research and bring to you, so that you can do a little bit more research yourself. For example, if you've got thyroid issues, you're not supposed to eat broccoli. If you've got like I had nodular thyroid, broccoli was really bad for me. Any crucifer vegetables I wasn't allowed to eat. So, but yet people might go, oh well, broccoli's healthy, and they might not be aware of that. So there's lots of situations where it's a healthy food, but it might not be good for you. So anyway, I am rambling on. This is 90 minutes, so I'm going to call it a day. And then hopefully I can get this ball rolling next week. I'm working tomorrow, Friday, then Saturday. Then next week I'm going to literally start cracking on So if you have watched this to the end, thank you. If you would like to jump on one of the podcasts to talk about something, or maybe you know someone else, um, who's got some information or who does organic products, provides services that help people, then obviously reach out and let me know. But I hope everybody's okay. January can be a really, really hard month, but sending lots of love to everybody, and I'm saying I will catch you all soon. I need to have a proper way to end this. Peace. For now.